Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. We're here with Alex Begum, who is, you might know him as the law giant from the billboards, and you're here in town to talk to us about pesticides and how they've affected mothers, children, in this case, with birth defects and developmental issues. What are we talking about here? A herbicide?
A herbicide. The one that we're focusing on right now is an herbicide by the name of Dacthal. It's produced by a company called AMVAC Chemical. And right now, we're still early in the investigation phase, but there are some facts that we do know. And what we know is that this particular herbicide was pulled from the market by the EU, by the European Union, because of its links to birth defects. Recently, here a couple months ago, the EPA took a dramatic step that it hadn't taken in over 40 years with relation to any other type of chemical, and that is it issued an emergency order to basically investigate the effects on mothers and children by being exposed to this chemical pesticide. And so as a result, the company pulled the registration for this pesticide off the market, which again is kind of unprecedented for that to occur. And what we have been finding is that in areas where there's a lot of agriculture and there was a lot of use of Dacthal pesticide specifically, we've been finding that there's a big correlation between birth defects and individuals that were exposed to this. So who are we talking about? We're talking about farmers, obviously, that worked in the fields, particularly women who then also went into the fields or were in or around the area of the agricultural land when it was being fumigated, if you will, with pesticides. And the link that we're seeing is significant birth defects, both in mental development, physical development, sometimes organ development in children. And so if any of your viewers think that they have been exposed to Dacthal when they were growing up, when they were pregnant, particularly during the time of pregnancy, or just years of exposure and then got pregnant and had a child with significant birth defects, we're investigating these claims. And one of the great things about the way we do these claims is that we do them with no upfront fee, and there is a no fee guarantee. So if we don't think that you have a viable case, well, we'll tell you. But if you think you may have a viable case and we take you on as a client, we don't charge anything up front, and we only charge a fee if we recover at the end of the case.
And so you were telling me it is a class action lawsuit now against this company, and here in South Texas, obviously a lot of agriculture. Is this area of Texas, this part of town, affected more so than perhaps other areas?
Yes, there is a huge heat map of use in and around the South Texas area. We have a lot of agricultural land here. Anybody that's ever flown into the valley remembers those beautiful big green fields. And unfortunately, we have a lot of individuals here in South Texas that have been exposed to this particular type of herbicide and this chemical. And again, what we're seeing is that the data for South Texas is that we have a huge, inordinate birth defect cluster. We also have a huge cancer cluster in South Texas. In other words, if you take the comparison of births to birth defects, you take that percentage and compare it to other parts of the country, we're way outside of the norm of what average is. And so something is going on, and this is an area that our firm and other firms are now investigating.
Mr. Begum, briefly, if somebody thinks that they have a case, if you could tell us where to go and what we should do.
They can come visit our site, lawgiant.com, and give us a call, or they can always call us. Again, the consultation is always free, 956-9 million.
Mr. Begum, thank you very much for coming by, and thank you for watching. We'll be right back.